In Monday's Mental Health and Me, we're discussing a sad trend that's come over the last 2 years, mirroring the pandemic. There's a new survey from the CDC. It found over half of teenagers reported emotional abuse at home during the pandemic. So Dr. Sheryl Ziegler joins us here today to talk about it. A psychologist, also our 9 News parenting expert. So a lot of families experiencing the pandemic-related stress. It's never okay to verbally or emotionally abuse a child, but it's something that advocates are drawing attention to, that it happened during the pandemic. Is it something, it doesn't just go away with the pandemic, it has long-term effects?
It does. I think when people think about child maltreatment, child abuse, oftentimes maybe they think physical abuse or sexual abuse, which are forms, but actually emotional abuse and neglect are the most common forms. And so being berated, being told maybe that you're not smart or you've done something wrong, when you have a developing brain, that becomes a part of who you believe yourself to be. Maybe when you're older and somebody tells you something like that, you've got more experience under you to say, wait, I don't know if that's totally true, actually. But when you're a child, that's not the case. And so that's what we know, is that during the pandemic, this is, part of what was going on during a very vulnerable time for kids. And we're seeing these long-lasting outcomes of depression, of increased suicidal thoughts, of decreased self-esteem. So it's really concerning.
So what is, as parents, because I feel like we can all find ourselves being frustrated in these moments where we have to catch ourselves, what is like the ultimate long-term takeaway from this for us?
I think as parents, it's to know that your stress really does matter onto your children's stress. How you're feeling, how you're doing has a direct impact. And sometimes we think, oh, I just wasn't available for that night, or I was a little distracted, or yes, I yelled at them, but that's not the way I normally am. But we don't realize sometimes how high our stress is, and just the energy as well. It's not just a one-time incident of maybe I screamed and yelled, but it's also everything that leads around that. Maybe we don't eat dinner together. Maybe we're not smiling anymore. We're not playing anymore. There are ripple effects. So I think as a parent, don't just think that something that happened in your house was just a one-time single event. It probably has a larger effect and impact, and you need to talk about it. Talking about it is part of the repair process.
We've talked about it, about employers and employees discovering now that if you want to find help with your mental health right now, you can't.
Right.
It's hard to get in to see someone about it. Is it the same when it comes with children, with teenagers right now? Oh,
absolutely. So since last May, for almost a year, we've been in an actual pediatric mental health state of emergency. ERs are overrun. We in private practice absolutely cannot keep up with the referrals. It's actually impossible. Wow. And so it's really stressful, actually, because as a provider, I cannot even return everybody's call, or definitely not in a timely manner. But one of the things that I like to tell people is use resources that are in employment plans, and try telehealth, and try some of those digital therapeutics that we have, because I think that's really the way we're going to try to address some of these things.
I think it's hard for people sometimes to recognize what went on in their own house, or what is going on in their own house at any time. So it might be something where people are maybe a little more introspective and take a harder look inside to see what their house has been like over these 2 years, especially if you have young children, and maybe get a better handle on things as we hopefully arc out of this.
Yep.
Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, it's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.